lecture. And Kenya, distinguished guests, the panelists, the professors who have talked to us, and all the people who have come here for this memorial lecture and luncheon for the greatest president of our times, the late Mr. Mwai Kibaki. Good afternoon. I'm really very honored that I was invited to come for this lecture, and I want to thank the professors who spoke here to us about the leadership of Mr. Mwai Kibaki. Kenya, distinguished guests, the panelists, the professors who have talked to us, and all the people who have come here for this memorial lecture and luncheon for the greatest president of our times, the late Mr. Mwai Kibaki. Good afternoon. I'm really very honored that I was invited to come for this lecture, and I want to thank the professors who spoke here to us about the leadership of Mr. Mwai Kibaki. Mr. Mwai Kibaki is a legend. He's a reference point in matters governance, and anybody who talks about governance in this country, there is reference to his leadership. He left a legacy that remains permanent, that is visible, and that is felt. His greatest achievement was the economic restoration and transformation of this country. And because I'm somebody who listens to the ordinary people, they tell me, don't tell us about economic growth. Don't tell us about economic survey. Don't tell us the economy has improved from this percentage to this percentage. We want to feel the growth the way we felt it when Kibaki was president. Because there was money in circulation, there was infrastructural development that is feasible, and people say they don't want to be told theories. They want to feel economic growth the way they felt it when Mwai Kibaki was president between the year 2002 and 2013. I want to really acknowledge the culture of hard work that the late president inculcated in all of us, asking people to work hard. I remember when he was sworn in as president and he made his first visit to Ubaya, and those of us from Nyeri were very excited to welcome our son home, and we were lining up everywhere waiting for him. And when he reached Karatina, where I was, he didn't come out of the vehicle. And he lowered the window by a few inches, and then called the PC, akamuuliza, bwana PC, nini naendelea hapa? Hii watu yote, it was around 11. Nani nachuna majani chai? Nani yuko kwa shamba ya kahawa? Hapana, 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 tutaharibu. Tukiendelea namna hii tutaharibu. He put the window up and drove to Udaya. Nobody ever came again to meet Mwai Kibaki.
Oh yes, that is the former Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the impeached Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, when he was speaking and addressing during the celebration of Mwai Kibaki. Of course, you know, a lot has been happening, and you know that there is always a scramble for power when it comes to Kenya, East Africa. There is always the scramble for power. We have seen how teams are coming up together so that can match, and of course they want to win in 2027. We have seen several players who are doing these players politically I will call them in quotes politically, because we have seen members from different political parties coming out to discuss what is happening, of course, in the field of politics. Gachagua has been the headliner, but now we have seen when he was addressing the media, and he's saying that his life is on danger because he has been threatened, and he's calling upon the Inspector General Douglas Kanja to act and make sure that security is reinstated, because he was the security was withdrawn, and of course Gachagua is calling the government to restart the security that was withdrawn. It's a sad state, because we have seen how members are fighting each other, right, left, and center. How politics is gaming after the impeachment of Gachagua. Loyal friends of Gachagua, they are still being forced, they are still being squeezed by the Kenya Kwanza government, because we have seen even the Kiaru member of constituency, that is Didi Nyoro, being sidelined and of course dropped from the budgetary committee, and how the fight of the Mount Kenya region is also getting to topmost zone when it comes to the politics. Gachagua is also trying to protect the votes of the Mount Kenya region. We know that the Mount Kenya is one of the areas that has highest number of votes. So we know that it's going to be a total mess if one leader is going to be supported by the mountain and the other one is not supported by the mountain. That is why we had a presidential tour that happened in the Mount Kenya region, attracting a lot of people, attracting a lot of members in the Mount Kenya region. Make sure you also join us through the comment section here. This is a Freak 24 political discussion, and we are open here every day, 10 p.m. East African time. Make a date with us, join with us, and we will be happy to have you here live. Also, the opposition leaders have been slamming the entire Kenya Kwanza government, starting with the Eugene Wamalwa. This is what Eugene said earlier when he was speaking about the Kenya Kwanza government.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Kibaki family, the DP leadership, the distinguished panel, and distinguished guests. Good afternoon. Let me start by thanking the Kibaki family and also the DP leadership for giving us the opportunity to be here today to remember a great leader. And as His Excellency has said, I think he's the most consequential leader of our republic. And as we remember him today, we remember words of a wise man who said that sometimes we are all warmed by fires we did not light, and we drink from wells we did not dig. This great leader, when you look at his symbol, there was something very unique about Kibaki. It was always about light. His symbol ya DP ilikuwa ni taa, mwangaza, lighting the way. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Kibaki family, the DP leadership, the distinguished panel, and distinguished guests. Good afternoon. Let me start by thanking the Kibaki family and also the DP leadership for giving us the opportunity to be here today to remember a great leader. And as His Excellency has said, I think he's the most consequential leader of our republic. And as we remember him today, we remember words of a wise man who said that sometimes we are all warmed by fires we did not light, and we drink from wells we did not dig. This great leader, when you look at his symbol, there was something very unique about Kibaki. It was always about light. His symbol ya DP ilikuwa ni taa, mwangaza, lighting the way. When we came to NAC and several of our parties came together, my late brother had fought Kenya, we had others. Forming NAC again, Kibaki chose light, mwenge. Yes. the torch to light the way. And the light that he left us is the Vision 2030. That is still the light guiding the journey that is our national development. We're in 2025. We have 5 years to go to 2030. So as we meet here today as leaders, let us start thinking about another light, that from 2027, as we form the next government, we can have a leadership that can light another light beyond 2030, beyond Africa Agenda 2063. And I see that leadership in this room. I see the next government in this room. I thank the organizers for choosing this historic venue. Mwai Kibaki once met here with his friend Wamalo Kijana and his other friend Charity Ngilu. The late Kihika Kimani asked, ni nini wanaume wawili wanafanya na mwanamke mmoja kwa hoteli? Kumbe Kibaki was forming the next government. So those of you who are here, Kibaki's friends, let us look at this as a 202 moment. Let us drink from this well of inspiration, and let us be inspired to save our country, because apart from Vision 2030, the greatest legacy left us was the Constitution. He appointed me as Minister for Justice, and I remember when I invited him to address the judiciary, they were bidding him farewell. I told him, Mr. President, I don't know what historians will write about you. What would be your greatest legacy? They would have a hard time because they would wonder whether free primary education was your greatest legacy. They would wonder whether the phenomenal infrastructure development was your greatest legacy. But I told him, Your Excellency, I think your greatest legacy will be the Constitution 2010. All we need to do as a country is to remain and to protect that Constitution and to implement it fully and faithfully. It's being violated time and again. It was violated last year on the 25th of June, when young people, the Gen Z, were slaughtered, demanding for accountability, good governance, and an end to corruption. Yesterday, I was in Nakuru as a lawyer acting for Butere Girls. We are not talking about the Gen Z. This is the Gen Alpha. Kids, children, being tear-gassed, being injured, being denied one of the most fundamental freedoms in that Constitution, freedom of expression. A child should be allowed to express themselves freely, not as a favor from the state, but it is a constitutional protection of our children, nationally and internationally. So as we remember Mwai Kibaki, let us remember to remain and to uphold fidelity to our Constitution and to get in place the right leadership in 2027. Thank you and God bless you.
I think Ambassador Namotha.
Let's get the right leadership as we approach in 2027, because you know it's getting hot when it comes to the politics of this country. And who is going to be the next president after Kenya Kwanza, in which most of Kenyans had a lot of trust with the government? It has completely failed. Who is going to be the next president of this country? Of course, they think that maybe the president is going to serve for first term, and then boom, he is going to be out. Now we are going to get a new leader. But now who is going to be the next president of this country?
Yeah. Kanisa yetu ya PCA Mwiki, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Hebu tuone salamu kwa hewa. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kwanza kabisa, mimi vile nimeambiwa, majina yangu ni Senator Cleophas Malala kutoka kule Kakamega, kule Ingo. Mimi ndio nimekuwa katibu mkuu wa chama cha UDA. Lakini tulitoka huko, sasa hivi tuko kwa safari nyingine. Na mimi leo nimekuja hapa kumsindikiza kiongozi wangu, naibu rais wa pili wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua, Na vile nimefika hapa, nimeona mambo ya ajabu. Rare instances. Nimeona mambo sijaiona kwa maisha yangu. Ati kwamba tuko na viongozi ambao wanaweza tuma vijana kupiga watu, kupiga wale ambao wanaabudu Mwenyezi Mungu. Mimi nimeshangaa na nimesema tu kwamba tumwachie Mwenyezi Mungu hiyo vita. Sisi hatuwezi ingilia kati ya hiyo vita. Na mimi nakumbuka vizuri sana wakati Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua alikuwa anang'atuliwa kama naibu rais. Tulikuwa na nguvu yote ya kufanya maandamano, ya kuchoma mali za watu, ya kupiga watu, lakini kiongozi wetu alituambia, hata kama wanamtoa, tafadhali tunataka amani. Hivi majuzi rais amekuwa Mlima Kenya karibu siku 7. Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua akasema anataka amani. Uongozi utoka kwa Mwenyezi Mungu. Mnaweza patia watu pombe, mnaweza patia watu pesa, mnaweza tumia polisi, lakini uongozi utoka kwa Mwenyezi Mungu. So tafadhali, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, wewe leo ndio umepatia vijana pesa kupitia Sakaja na ukaambia DIG I withdraw security, na nia yao haikuwa kuharibu madhabahu. Walikuwa wametuma mpaka tuko na watu ambao wako na bunduki, walikuwa wametuma waje mpaka hapa wamtoe Rigathi Gachagua akiwa madhabahu, ati wambebe juu na juu. Sisi tungependa kuambia hao vijana kwamba ni sawa. You have intimidated Rigathi enough times. Mlimtoa kwa kiti yake akanyamaza. Akaenda nyumbani, mkamfuata nyumbani. Mkachukua askari wake. Mkaenda kwa familia yake. Akienda matanga, mnampiga kule. Ameamua kunyamaza, ameamua kufanya mambo yake. Leo amekuomba Mwenyezi Mungu, tena mnamfuata. That is inhuman of you, Mr. President. Mimi nakuomba rais, kumbuka mahali ulitoka na huyu Rigathi Gachagua. Watu uko sana, watu tofautiana kimawazo, lakini usiwe na hiyo roho ya kutaka kumaliza mwenzako mpaka kaburini. But we want to assure you, our Deputy President, ati wewe uko tu na watu wa mlima peke yake. Hata sisi kutoka kule mkoa wa Magharibi tuko na wewe Rigathi Gachagua. And I want to assure you of my personal support and my community support. Nitatembea na wewe sababu wewe ni mtu wa kusema ukweli. Wewe ni mtu wa kusema ukweli. Uliambia rais kwamba hii Kenya inaharibika, hakusikia. Sasa hivi anaona yeye mwenyewe. So I want to assure you of my support. Na mwisho kabisa, ukikuja kanisa paka ukuje na prayer request. Hawezi huyu Gakuya hawezi kuja tu kanisa useme maneno paka ukuje uombe kitu wa kuombe. Mimi leo niko na prayer request. Ningependa mchungaji, tafadhali kifunga misa munisaidie kwa hii prayer request. Kwanza ningependa muombe familia ya hayati mzee Jomo Kenyatta ambaye alikuwa rais wetu, alitusaidia kunyakua ukombozi kutoka nchi yetu. Wa pili, ningependa uombe mzee rais wetu wa pili, mzee Daniel Arap Moi, ambaye alikumbukwa kwa kupatia watu maziwa na watoto maziwa ya Nyayo. Tukakumbuka, akatusaidia, akatuletea msingi na amani ambayo ilikuwa Kenya yetu. Ya tatu, ningependa uombe familia ya immediate former president Uhuru Kenyatta. Nataka umuombe sababu wakati wake Mheshimiwa Mwai Kibaki, samahani, Mheshimiwa Mwai Kibaki wakati wake alileta free primary education. Tunamkumbuka Mheshimiwa Mwai Kibaki, hii Thika super highway yeye ndio alileta. Tunamkumbuka Mheshimiwa Mwai Kibaki kwa kustabilize economy yetu. Tumeona SGR, tumeona Mau Mau roads. Lakini sasa huyu Kasongo tutamkumbuka kwa nini? Huyu tutamkumbuka kwa nini? Iko barabara ameunda kweli? Kila rais ako na legacy yake. We want to challenge William Ruto. This is your third year in power. Wewe unafanya nini? Kazi yako ni kuenda launch bed sitters. Sasa rais mzima ati unaenda launch bed sitter, unapiga picha na mtoto kwa nyumba. So mimi ningependa kuomba tafadhali utuombee. Mwisho kabisa ni kualika
The work of Cleophas Malala is to inject. I've also been following, he has been having one of the interviews, and I have seen how he has been injecting, and I was very happy to see how he is injecting. Of course, it's interesting time for politics in this country. We have seen how members also, they are trying to come out when it comes to 2027. But Cleophas Malala, he is a die-hard supporter of Gachagua. I've also seen that, and it's like he has that heart of staying strong, because even after Gachagua impeachment, the Cleophas Malala was still strong, and I have seen he has said that maybe Kenyans are not going to show their patriotism in 2027, but he is very sure. Just a few hours ago, he is very sure that Kasongo will go home, and he's trying to say that the 2027 general election is going to be a masterclass election, and they are aware that it's the first president now who is going to far and going to serve for 5 years. Now, 5 years, it means that we still have an unaccomplished projects that the Kenya Kwanza government has not fulfilled. We still have a lot of things that need to be done. And if now the Kenya Kwanza government goes on in the first 5 years, it means that Kenyans also will be left under suspense. And now we are having this situation whereby politics is getting hot. Gachagua friends, they are still very firm, and they are chasing for 2027. We have also other political leaders and also members coming out to vie for 2027. But the opposition is now dormant, led by Raila Odinga after the signing of MOU. Members still are not doing what Kenyans need, because if we run the country now without opposition, where will be this country in the next 5 years? Because also, even in family, you need to be pushed by your husband, by your wife, so that you can also deliver. So if you don't have someone to push for the government, then it means the government now is doing solidarity on what it wants. So if the project is completed, if not completed, well, no one is pushing for that. So we have seen Gachagua friends and also trying to come together with the likes of Eugene Wamalwa, also the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka, and trying to push for 2027 on who is going to be the winner of 2027. This will be a very tactical general election when it comes to politics, because we know Gachagua friends, Matiang'i for Jubilee, and the other leaders, they are pushing for presidential seat. 2027 is going to be a very tough competition, but we know there is a government in power, and we will be having Kenyans coming out in large numbers. We also seen how Kenyans are mobilizing each other in the social media so that they can vote. So if you are a Kenyan and you are not being represented, you are not being given the political, you are the Kenyan and you're not being given this identification card and also going to vote, make sure you are not going to be seen anywhere. That is what they are saying in the social media. And also we are seeing how they are coming out in the social media X, they're coming out on other platforms to say that you must vote for 2027 if you are a real Kenyan, because they want to make a change. They want to make a change that will transform this country. But of course, also Gachagua is saying that it's high time now we focus. But we saw the other day there is a control that happened, and this is after Mutahi Kaiga, the governor of Nyeri, welcomed the president in the mountain during the mountain tour. A mountain tour that raised a lot of concerns. Raised a lot of concerns when it comes to the next general election, because Kaiga has been one of the loyal followers, but he welcomed the president, though he was saying that if president is going to accomplish what he has promised, then they are going to vote for him in 2027. Also, the president, when he was speaking over there, he said that the entire mountain is going to be supporting him in 2027 because of what he saw during that reception.
Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a guest last week. And if I do not stand here and thank all of you for heeding to my call, when I made a call to all of us as the county of Nyeri, the populace and the people who rightfully have a right to riot because it is their son that was impeached. But I said, and I called upon all of you, went to the radios and said, leadership comes from God. We participated in putting our president in State House. We voted. We must respect that. And we must respect the presidency. We must work with him now because we rightfully deserve any development that was set aside from the 3 trillion of this year for Nyeri must come. But I knew that will not come if we are throwing stones. Ours is to be patient, to listen, to receive. Even now, as you go out, you are going to meet with a number of people who are making noise. They are from Mudavadi, and they are making noise because the national government wants to do them a market. It is going to be a market almost of about, I don't know whether, is it 3 stories? 1,008 traders. So we are going to sit together and, like always, remember what the book says in the book of Isaiah, chapter number 18, chapter 1, verse 18, that come, let us reason together. When people speak to each other, when people stop talking at each other and they sit together, they talk, they agree, they are able to go. My biggest question is this. The fact that you did not shout at, people did not shout at the president, they did not stop him doing that, did that one change anybody's life? No. But he went home a better person. Next time somebody calls him and tells him, Nyeri, unaonaje? If there is anything around there, because I'm in government, I know what happens. Akipata, and I told him, boss ukikaa kaa huko uone kitu ambao hakuna county inataka chukua unilete. Si ni kweli? Wakati huko. Hiyo mambo ya 2027 tutapangana. If he can convince us, we will give him. Akishindwa basi sisi hatutakuwa na makosa ama namna gani? But that is, I must tell you as the people of Nyeri, I really appreciate. Last but not least, like I said, let us continue in prayer. Let us continue in prayer for this county, for this country, because we do not have an alternative country. You can move to another county, but can you move to another country, really? So may God bless all of you. I look forward to attending the next year's, the 12th county prayer day, and as we go, and I'm also glad that Akorino Megoko. Akorino Mwegwa. Lokama itodo mutiri ide makamenya moyokwa. You know, very good.
Betrayal, that is what most of the Mount Kenya leaders are calling Mutahi Kaiga. He betrayed the former Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, that is Gachagua, impeached because of what he's saying that they might support Gachagua for that is the route for 2027 if he's going to do what the people of Nyeri are saying. And also he's trying to say that he told the president then if he sees somewhere where he can get money, then he should also direct the people of Nyeri. But also you don't expect that is what people are saying, that you don't expect people from the same county where Gachagua comes from after all the humiliation, and specifically the governor saying that because it's believed that the governor has a lot of influence when it comes to the politics of a county and also determining on who is going to be the president. Also, Gachagua has been saying that he's not going to agree with what the government is doing.
That is his borders operandi, is okay. But sending goons ndani ya kanisa, Rais, what happened to you? Ndani ya kanisa, surely. Hao watu ya kanisa ndio walikuombea. Sasa wewe umefika kiwango. Ulinitumia goons Limuru kwa funeral, wakatuangaisha, tukasema ni sawa. The other December ukatutumia goons huko Shamata, wakatuangaisha, tukasema ni sawa. Last week ulikuwa umetuma watu huko Nyeri nje ya kanisa. Sasa umekuja mpaka umeingia ndani ya kanisa. Sawa, tulikuwa tunafikiria utapanga nje ya kanisa. But you have become bold. You don't care anymore that you are sending goons through the governor hapa ya Nairobi kuja kuangaisha kanisa la Kristo na kuangaisha sisi. It's okay, there is no problem. Wewe endelea kama unaona hivyo ni sawa, there is no problem. We are aware the Deputy Inspector General aliambia polisi wasikuje, but a few policemen in plain clothes walikuja wakasaidia pale, which is okay because there are some officers who are conscious that they have a constitutional obligation to protect life and property. Last week umetutumia polisi kutuangaisha Naivasha, which is okay. Lakini tunashangaa ni kwa nini? Kwa sababu wewe unatembea hapa kwetu mlimani, hakuna mtu amekuuliza. Si ametembea? Na nikaambia watu wamkaribishe. Bora walipe, si ndio? So now let us be decent people. The way umekaribishwa pale, wachana na sisi tutembee mahali tunataka. And even if you want to pursue us, don't pursue us inside the church. But of course, when we are seated here, wondering why the president would go to that length of sending goons inside a church to attack leaders, to attack Christians. But we also remember that sometimes back, kanisa ya Kiambaa, watoto walikuwa huko, walichukuliwa wakarudishwa ndani wakachomeka. So we are not surprised because hii ni tabia ambayo inaonekana it is consistent. So wewe rais endelea, no problem. Lakini ujue hii kitendo ya leo, uhusiano yako na kanisa ya PCA is irreparably damaged ever. So wewe endelea tu vile unataka, it's okay, there's no problem. And other churches are seeing. Hakuna mtu haoni. Na mimi sijui ni kwa nini kama sisi we are nothing. We are finished. We are nobody in this country. Why are you pursuing us? Si wachana na sisi tu tukae. Wewe uko na nguvu, uko na umaarufu mingi. Endelea. Wewe wachana na sisi. Sisi tuende kanisani tuombe Bwana, tuende nyumbani. Tuende mazishi tuzike rafiki, tuende nyumbani. Leave us alone. And I want to tell you, Rais, tafadhali, vile maneno naendelea hii Kenya, even if you eliminate Rigathi Gachagua, nothing will change. It will just complicate your politics more than is already complicated. And we have enough soldiers to carry on with the struggle. You know, you may bring me down if that is what you think will help you, but we have enough soldiers here to carry on with the struggle. So sisi tunakualika ufanye vile unataka.
What? That is Rigathi G saying that the president might have planned to impeach him, but we have a lot of people who can do the work that he is doing. Also, Gachagua is saying that his life is in danger. He is saying that his life is in danger nowadays after the security withdrawal, which is something which is very sensitive, and he's saying that he will not agree with what the government is doing through the goons that are attacking him. He's dropping bombshells saying that his life is in danger. And if also things are going to be like this, then he's going to blame the Kenya Kwanza government, saying that he is not being protected. He is a public figure. Goons are attacking him right, left, and center. He's saying that there is no way that he can survive without security. The government withdrawn the security, and also some of the members from the mountain, they don't have security, the likes of Wamushomba, and also it's something that is alarming, and he's saying that his life is in danger. Kalonzo Musyoka responded saying that Gachagua must be protected. Gachagua must be given enough security because he's a national figure. He was the second deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, and he has the right to be protected. He has the right to be guarded. He has the right to have security whenever he is having those congregation.
Na Mutula, Governor Malombe, tafadhali iyobe kabiu kuli siana ila situite na ibande sio sa ibande ni mazi makwazi mama nenga ibande mosa ibande na endi ndatika makoza ibande at the same time maondo atatu mukoza kibande kura yuke mose na tikiti wa wiper na makwedha na umo bukoni Nemo kwa ikomba ito, wangapi atafanya hiyo? Mwisho tunasema hivi. Leo ni tarehe 15 mwezi wa April. Mimi nawatakieni Pasaka nzuri kila mahali wa Kenya wenzangu. Lakini wakati tukujiandaa wakati huu mgumu wa kusulubishwa kwa Yesu, tukumbuke kwamba mkuu wa majeshi ya Kenya, Generali Ogola, aliuawa na kisingizio kwamba ndege yake ilianguka. Hakuna mtu anaamini hiyo report. Kwa hivyo nasema Kenya hii haiwezi kuwa ambayo inaongozwa na msimamo wa kuua viongozi hata kama ni viongozi wa jeshi. Tunajua kwamba Rigathi leo hii ameandika statement. Huyu Rigathi ameandika statement akisema Inspector General wa Police aambie hawa polisi wetu hapa afadhali. Walitumwa juzi Rigathi akaenda kanisani, wakaingia magoons kule na kutaka kumuua ndani ya kanisa. Wangama sema hatutakubali mambo kama hayo. Wasikie hii, wakimguza Rigathi hawatakuweko tena. Wangama sema tunakataa watu kuzingiziwa. Wangapa wasema tukiita maandamano kama atazuiliwa tena kwenda mahali patakatifu kama kanisani. Rigathi akizuiliwa asiingie kwa kanisa, sisi zote tutatoka tupeleke hiyo kanisa. Wangapa watafanya hiyo? Kwa hivyo wajue wakiguza mmoja wetu wameguza Wakenya wote, na tutasimama imara kutetea haki yetu ya kikatiba. Hata wakati huu mjue Rex Masai ambaye tulimzika pale Ngelani, haijajulikana kwa nini aliuawa. Na sio peke yake, he was the first one to fall. Vijana zaidi ya 70 waliuawa. Kwa hivyo lazima haki ipatikane. Ni haki ya kila mwananchi kufanya maandamano ya amani. Kwa hivyo tukiitisha maandamano bila usipige mtu na mawe, ni haki yako ya kikatiba. Na hakuna mtu anaweza kuchukua haki yako hiyo. Kwa hivyo mbai to you, eyo mba ni echa then kebekie. Alama kwa zekadiki bikia kwa koyon.
Gachagua must be protected. Gachagua must be protected by any chance. That is Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, of course, condemning the issue that happened the other day, whereby Gachagua was attacked by the goons, and of course, the allegation is that the goons were sent by the Nairobi governor in collaboration with the President of the Republic of Kenya, and that is one thing that is raising alarms to the opposition leaders. They are saying that this is something that should not be witnessed in this country. Opposition are saying that Gachagua has the right to go everywhere, has the right to make Kenyans get to know what is happening in terms of government. So I think Kalonzo Musyoka, they have come together with other leaders, and they are saying that they are going to support Gachagua by all means. So I think this is Gachagua giving alarm to William Ruto. And of course, Gachagua was present in Machakos today and it spoke.
Church of Christ does so. Kwa hivyo wachungaji wetu, you have to step in that role because nature abhors vacuum. Na ndio mmeona saa ile mlinyamaza watoto wetu ya Gen Z wakaongea. Kwa sababu nature abhors vacuum. Somebody must speak. So when opposition walinunuliwa na Ruto, bunge wakakuwa compromise, kanisa ikajamaza kidogo, watoto wetu wa Gen Z wakajitokeza wakaongea na wakauawa. Na hii shida yote unaona Kenya ni kwa sababu ya kumwaga damu ya watoto. Hata mkoloni, the British colonialists alikuwa pale kwetu kwa mlima. Brutal as the colonialist was, he never went for the children. Aliwachana na wamama na watoto. So tumepata utawala unapigana na watoto wadogo. Watoto wakiandika vitu hapa kwa mtandao wanashikwa, wanatekwa nyara, wanauawa. Umeona watoto pale Butere wametoa mchezo ya kuigiza. Hata wakati wa Moi kulikuwa ridiculous. Moi never took any action. Si ilikuwa inaitwa ridiculous. They were enjoying because it is satire. It's a mirror of society. And Moi never took any action against ridiculous. Kibaki alikuwa pale, kulikuwa na some caricatures wanamuonesha vile anaongeanga. Kibaki anaendelea na kazi. So hii maneno ya kuumiza watoto ni mambo inatushangaza sana. Sana sana. Na umeona nimesema Southern pale Sudan, dhahabu inaletwa Kenya, bunduki inanunuliwa hapa, inapelekwa huko, inaua watoto na akina mama. So the church, you must speak for us. Because if you don't, other people will come up to speak. Na watauawa. Na kwa sababu nyinyi hamwezi uawa, sasa nyinyi muongee. Si ndio? Wanaweza ua hii watu ya kanisa? Lakini juzi wametuma watu kanisani kuua sisi ndani kwa PCA. Hapo Mwiki. Na unajua hii watu ni wajeuri, wanadharau watu ya kanisa sana. Saa ile wametuma watu kanisani to discredit the altar inside the church. Ati ndio kanisa ya PCA itulie kwa vile wanadharau wachungaji. Huyu Sudi amepatiwa milioni 2 peleka kanisani ili watu watulie. Ni madharau si madharau? Let us respect the church and let us honor the altar. Hata kama ni nini, hakuna haja ya kutuma wahuni ndani ya kanisa. Tuheshimu kanisa kwa sababu
tuheshimu kanisa because that is a holy place. Gachagua, after the goons were sent by what is being allegedly said as the Kenya Kwanza government, saying that they are trying to contradict, of course, after that incident. That is when we saw Oscar Sudi also being given money to go and take chats so that they can neutralize the situation. But they are aware they are aware that these goods were sent by the Kenya Kwanza government. And it's upon the Kenya Kwanza government on which they are saying the Kenya Kwanza government must act and must stop and must respect the altar. All those things that are happening, we leave them to God. We cannot question, but anyway, we see that if it's really true that you are sent by the ruling government, then they should stop that, because this is politics, and politics is a neutral game. A neutral game where you are playing with only voters. You are just playing with the voters so that you can capture them and they can vote for you. So the issue of throwing stones, sending goons, acting weird, this is something that must also stop, because as you know that Gachagua, we have in churches whereby we have few members, we have children in churches. What will happen if we are going to have tear gas or goons coming to attack a church and also try to interfere with the church activities going on? It's sad, of course. It's something that is sad, but we are looking forward to seeing the police, the Inspector General, being very active when it comes to maintaining peace in this country, because we are approaching a very odd area, a very odd situation in this country, whereby politics are coming out. This is the campaign time, and every leader is also trying to put forward his manifesto, is trying to push for the government to deliver. And of course, the president has been making headlines saying that his government is strong and is focused on making sure that everything that is being utilized by the common mwananchi is going to be in plenty. He's saying that there is plan for changing the situation in this country. The plan is to change Kenya. The plan is to make Kenya a great nation. The plan is to transform Kenya to become a great nation, in contrary to what has been.
Na ndio sababu hiyo tukaamua vile vile kwamba tuunganishe taifa letu la Kenya, ndio mambo ya maendeleo yaendelee kwa kasi zaidi. In order to enhance the momentum of the development of our country, it is necessary that we harness the unity of our nation, the talents available, the energies available, the political goodwill available for us to increase the momentum of the development of our country. Competition is good because it gives us winners and losers. Unity is better because it creates a win-win formula for everybody. It creates winners without losers. Nobody loses in unity. Everybody wins. And that is why Waswahili wakasema umoja ni nguvu. Because in unity there are no losers. In unity we have winners and winners and winners. And that is why we decided, and I want to encourage us as a nation to think about not what is in it for politicians and leaders, but what is in it for the people of Kenya. Not to think about the interest of a political party or a political side or one region, but the interest of the collective population of a nation called Kenya. That is what is important, and that is what our focus is. So mimi nashukuru sana viongozi wote waliokubali tuungane, na nimesema na nitarudia, tunaunganisha taifa letu la Kenya sio kwa sababu ya kugawana vyeo ama kupanga ushindi wa siasa. Tunaungana na tunaunganisha Kenya kwa sababu ya kupanga vile transformation ya taifa letu la Kenya itaendelea kwa kasi, ndio services ifikie wananchi wengi zaidi, kilimo itembee kwa haraka zaidi, uchumi iimarike zaidi, mambo ya rollout ya universal health coverage, housing program na program zile zingine zote zitembee kwa kasi, kwa manufaa sio ya viongozi, manufaa ya wananchi milioni 50 wa taifa letu la Kenya. That is the reason why this unity, the reason why we are coming together is important. Na mimi nataka niwaulize wote ambao wanasikiza mwito huu. Let us unite, let us work together, and let us focus on the interest of a nation called Kenya. Wengi
let's focus on the development of this country called Kenya. That is what the president is saying. But the opposition is also led by Kalonzo, Eugene Wamalwa. They are still, and also some of the members in the ODM, the likes of Edwin Sifuna. They are saying that there is nothing that this government has been doing, and they are trying to complain about the current situation since the government took over in 2022. And they're saying that it's going to be a tough time because nothing that has happened since the government took power. It's going to be messy. It's going to be a very hectic time. That is what they're saying. Of course, those are the members of ODM and the critics of the Kenya Kwanza government.
Baadaye mwaka huu ndio tusongeshe households ambayo itapata stima ifike households 17,000. Ndio tu namna hiyo every year tutakuwa tunaongeza ndio tufikishe stima kila sehemu. Nasikizeni, stima hii tunasukuma ifike mashinani, sio tu manyumba yenu. Tunataka pia itusaidie kwa ajira ya vijana wetu, kwa sababu tumekubaliana na hawa wabunge wote kila ward kuwe na ICT hub ili stima ikue hapo, tuwe na mtandao hapo. Wakati sasa tunasukuma stima, mtakuwa mnaona iko line 3 ya stima juu na iko ingine kidogo hapo chini. Hiyo moja ni ya ni ya internet, tumeweka fiber optic. Sasa tunataka kufikisha kila mahali, ndio tuwe na internet, tuwe na mtandao katika kila ward, ndio tupate vijana 200, 300 waweze kufanya kazi katika ile inaitwa digital jobs. Hiyo program saizi kila mjumbe ako na pesa kupitia CDF ya kujenga ICT hub. Kama ile mmesikia mjumbe wenu huyu Kimayo akisema hapa Chepkorio tumeweka ICT hub hapo. Hiyo sisi najenga. Yeye atapangana na hawa watu wengine tujenge zile nyingine za wards. Ili vijana wetu hawa pale kwa mtandao waweze kutumia mtandao kwa ajira. Mtandao isiwe tu ni mahali ya matusi, kutukanana na vitu ambaye haina maana. Ile mtandao itumike kuweka pesa kwa mifuko ya hawa vijana wetu, kwa sababu tumetumia pesa nyingi kuwasomesha, tumetumia pesa nyingi kwa training kama ni TVET na zile zingine zote, na tutaendelea katika investment ya masomo, kwa sababu mimi ninaamini na nimesema ya kwamba the most central, the most important, the most critical resource we have as a country, the most important asset that we have as a country is our human resource. Utendakazi ya wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya. That is the greatest resource we have. Na ndio sababu tunatumia bilioni 650 kila mwaka kwa masomo ya watoto wetu. Ndio sababu nimeajiri walimu 76,000 wapya. Ndio sababu tumeweka funding model ambaye inahakikisha ya kwamba watoto wa kutoka jamii maskini wanapata basari 90-95%. wakienda TVET ama university. Na ndio sababu tunaweka infrastructure ya mashule yetu. Tumejenga madarasa 17,000 ya kusaidia katika hii transition ya CBC. Na vile vile saa hizi tuko na partnership na World Bank, 1,600 laboratories katika zile mashule ambazo hazina laboratories. We are investing in education because education is what sharpens our human capital, the most important asset that we have as a nation. And that is the reason why we are deploying resources in our TVETs, in our universities, because we want to make sure that we harness the potential that exists in our human resource. And we must give all our children the best opportunity to be the best they can be. Every child, formal education, technical education, the creative industry, arts and sports, we must give our children the best array and buffet of what they can be. Those who are good in academics, others are good in sports, others are good in creative economy, others are good in arts. We must, as a nation, and my administration is going to make sure that our children get the best. And we must support them. And teachers, instructors, and the managers of our education must make sure that every child in every school, TVET, or college, or university, get the best.
The President of the Republic of Kenya, of course, giving some of the issues that he wants Kenya to accomplish. Funding model, housing program, security, taking care of Kenyans, making sure that the citizens are in good conditions, improving infrastructure, improving anything that entails the citizen. But that is just speaking. When you go to Kariobangi, Kayole, you go to Dandora, Umoja, you go to Langata, Kiserian, then you see most of Kenyans are complaining that still the condition is not what we are saying. But it's politics, and now after what happened, you remember even during 2022, the Kenyans were saying that they are going to vote. They are going to vote for the Kenya Kwanza government, even if they are going to reject the William Ruto, then they are going to vote for him. That is what Kenyans were saying in 2022. They were supporting William Ruto, and Kenyans were 100% sure they are going to support William Ruto. But now they don't have trust. So the leader who is going to be supported by Kenyans, he has 90% of getting votes in 2027. Do you think Kenyans are still going to vote for Kenya Kwanza government? Join us here, Africa 24 political discussion, and also tell us what is your views about Kenya Kwanza government being supported in 2027. Are they going to get the same number of votes that they got during the 2022 presidential campaigns? Because we have seen many people complaining, and also different counties, they are not up to standards. They are pushing for development, and we are in the third year of the Kenya Kwanza government. We have only next year and then 2027. And you know that 2027, it's a political year, not developments. But also we saw members from the Kenya Kwanza government trying to say that they want to change the presidential term limit. They want to form presidential term limit so that it can be increased to 7 years. And some of the analysts, they are questioning, why do we have to increase presidential term limits? What is that you cannot satisfy in the next 5 years? What is that you cannot do in the 5 years that you are given the power? Why is it must that you have to change the constitution so that you can accomplish? Remember, it's a Kenya Kwanza government, and a leader is going to be chosen by the Gen Z in 2027. Gen Z, they are still pushing forward for getting a leader who is going to be their representative in the ballot 2027. as more leaders are calling for more Kenyans to register in voting process, register for the identification cards as they approach for 2027. Remember, this is a Freak 24 political discussion, and I'm very privileged to have you followers getting in touch with this wonderful conversation. And here it's where we give everyone the platform to share and also to move and also to encourage also others when it comes to the politics of this country. Until same time, same place, I want to say thank you so much for those who joined the conversation. For those who are following UEFA Champions League, I wish you all the other teams all the best, and make sure you always get in touch with us for political discussion as we discuss more about what is happening in the world of politics in year Africa 24.